You did everything right. You saved your money, you didn't waste it. You put it in a bank and left it there. And somehow, it's worth less. Not because you spent it, but because the system quietly spent it for you. Right now, this matters more than ever. Prices are rising, slowly, then suddenly. Groceries, rent, fuel, nothing feels stable anymore. But your savings, they look exactly the same. Same numbers, same balance, just less power. This isn't bad luck, it's design. Here's how it works. Every currency in the world today runs on a simple idea. More money can be created whenever needed. Not printed like in old movies, but digitally. New money enters through banks, loans, government spending, central bank policies. It doesn't arrive everywhere at once. It enters at specific points: financial institutions, corporations, governments. And that's where the shift begins. Because when new money is created, the total supply increases, but the amount of goods, services, and assets, that takes time to catch up. So more money starts chasing the same things. Prices rise. Not instantly, not evenly, but steadily enough that you feel it without always noticing why. This is inflation, and it doesn't hit everyone the same way. The people closest to where new money enters, banks, large investors, asset holders, they move first. They buy assets early, stocks, real estate, commodities, before prices fully adjust. But by the time that same money reaches you, through salaries, wages, or small business income, prices have already moved. You're reacting, they're positioning, and your savings sit still. Let's make it uncomfortable. If inflation averages just 6% a year, your money loses about half its purchasing power in roughly 12 years. Half. Same number in your account. Half the real value. And here's the part most people miss. Saving money used to mean preserving value. Today, saving money without growth guarantees loss. Quietly, predictably, legally. But the system doesn't present it that way. You're told saving is responsible, safe, smart. And it is in a world where money holds its value. But in this system, money is designed to move, to circulate, to be used, invested, leveraged. Idle money becomes the weakest position in the entire structure. There's a strange irony here. The more disciplined you are about saving, without understanding the system, the more you fall behind. Not dramatically, not overnight, but consistently, year after year. So while headlines talk about market crashes and financial crises, the real erosion is quieter. It's happening in stable times and normal years, right inside your savings account. Now multiply that by thousands of investors. Prices fall further, which triggers more margin calls, which forces more selling, which pushes prices even lower. This is the moment when the system stops behaving rationally, because no one is selling based on value anymore. They're selling based on survival. And here's the irony. The safer everyone tries to be, the more dangerous the system becomes. Banks reduce risk, funds reduce exposure, investors pull out capital. Each move is logical, each move is defensive, but together they drain liquidity from the system, and liquidity is what keeps markets alive. Think of liquidity like oxygen. You don't notice it when it's there, but the moment it disappears, everything starts suffocating. Assets that were valuable yesterday suddenly can't find buyers. Prices gap down, spreads widen, trust evaporates. And that brings us to the third stage, loss of confidence. Not fear, something more subtle, doubt. People start asking quiet questions. Is my money safe? Will this bank hold? Can this company survive? And once those questions exist, they spread, because confidence is contagious, but so is doubt. Banks depend on trust, not just capital. If depositors believe their money is safe, the system works. If they don't, they withdraw. And no bank can survive everyone withdrawing at once. Not because it's poorly run, but because that's not how banking works. Banks lend out most of their But leverage has a hidden rule. It doesn't just multiply gains, it multiplies fragility. Because now, small changes matter. A 2% drop in asset prices, that's not a small dip anymore. That's enough to wipe out someone's equity. And when that happens, the chain reaction begins. Here's where things shift, quietly. A lender gets nervous. They don't panic. They don't shut down. They just ask for a little more safety. Higher interest rates, more collateral, shorter loan terms. Individually, each decision makes sense, but collectively, they tighten the entire system. Borrowing becomes harder, so fewer people can refinance their debt, which means more people are forced to sell assets, not because they want to, because they have to. This is the second stage, forced selling, and it's where things start accelerating. Imagine you bought an asset with borrowed money. Now the price drops. Your lender calls. Add more collateral or we sell. You don't have the cash, so you sell something else. Maybe stocks, maybe property, maybe bonds. You sell fast. And when you sell fast,
it never starts with panic. There's no alarm, no breaking news banner, no dramatic music, just a few numbers quietly moving in the wrong direction. A bank tightens lending, just a little. A fund sells assets, just to be safe. A company delays hiring, temporarily. Nothing looks like a collapse. And yet, every financial crisis in modern history begins right here, in this exact moment where everything still looks normal. Because a collapse isn't an event, it's a chain reaction. And once it starts, it feeds on itself. Right now, somewhere in the global economy, that chain may already be forming. Not in headlines, not on social media, but deep inside balance sheets, debt agreements, and liquidity flows, the parts of the system most people never see. And the uncomfortable truth is this: financial systems don't break because of one big mistake. They break because thousands of small, rational decisions start reinforcing each other in the worst possible way. To understand how this happens, you have to stop thinking of the economy as a machine. It's not. It's more like a network of promises, loans, contracts, expectations. Everything is connected. Your mortgage connects to a bank. That bank connects to investors. Those investors connect to other markets, and those markets connect to global capital flows. Pull one thread and the tension travels. At first, slowly, then all at once. Let's start with the first stage of almost every collapse: leverage, which is just a polite word for borrowed money. Leverage feels good when things are going up. You invest $1,000 of your own money, you make a return. But if you borrow $9,000 and invest $10,000, now your gains are 10x bigger. And for a while, that feels like genius. This is how booms are built. Real estate investors borrow to buy more properties. Funds borrow to buy more assets. Banks lend